When these cops placed a dog on an unarmed guy or arrested a child, they did the worst, but they had no idea karma was coming. Ryan Speakman chased commercial truck driver Jadarius Rose in Ohio on July 4, 2023. Circleville Police and Traffic Patrol stopped Rose. He was stopped by police for not having a mud flap on his truck, but he rushed away when he saw a gun and contacted 911. Soon after, he stopped and stepped out of the car to discover several officers yelling. Officer Ryan Speakman received a louder order. Speakman concluded his shift. He arrived with his dog and ordered Rose before the troopers could blink. After running across the greens with the dog, Speakman let it go because Rose wasn't a threat. The K-9 approached the troopers before Speakman ordered it to attack. Unarmed man Speakman didn't heed when troopers yelled at him to remove the dog from Rose. Even if Rose is in police custody, we're contacting Speakman. Dog teeth was on Speakman. Rose was devastated when the puppy was taken. Speakman tried to explain himself to the troopers about not obeying orders, but they were unyielding. Speakman turned off his camera. Maintaining peace Rose was hospitalized and accused with disobeying orders. He has a lawyer and is preparing for the greatest case. Speakman's fired. Police without the dog. If you think that's the first time cops have attacked a guy obeying orders, wait until you see what happened to this guy without a gun. Let's start with Officer Dennis. Chaveth Turner, a 6-year-old first grader, had a tantrum at school in September 2019, which is rare. She kicked and punched a staff member during her tantrum. School authorities and Emma Nixon Academy phoned the police after escorting the first grader to the principal's office. After the director responded, "Okay, she's..." Orlando police officer Dennis Turner had worked with the forest for 23 years. "Please join us today, Kate. You must follow them. Get up, girl." Turner gave his companion zip ties. The 6-year-old was confused. "Those for it's for you, keep your hand. Okay, come over here, honey." Turner tied her hands behind her back. Our sergeant to Turner then dragged the 6-year-old child out of the office and marched her around school screaming. He ignored my pleas to tell her what occurred as he locked the car and pushed her in, not to the police car. Turner returned to talk to outraged teachers. Teachers replied, yes, and if she was bigger, she would have been wearing regular handcuffs. He remarked, "My youngest arrestee was 7 and stole from Albertson thinking it was a prank." Laughing while the other kid's cry was the only reason he went to jail, he didn't think it was serious. Turner had a different plan for the 6-year-old in the school. To the Juvenile Assessment Center he took her. Battery charges, fingerprinting, and a mug shot were filed against her. Ours grandmother immediately went on the radio to promote the tale, which went viral. 2 children aged 6 and 8 were arrested yesterday on separate counts, according to investigators. Orlando police have begun investigating this case. They asked, "She was caught, therefore." She was charged with violence after kicking someone. He asked what her medical issue is, which we're treating. I informed him she has sleep apnea, and he answered, "Well, I have it, and I don't behave like that." Media promptly dismissed accusations against the 6-year-old and wiped her record. This concludes the crime. I won't join the school-to-prison pipeline at any age. I and the Orlando Police Agency sued the agency for $50,000 after Officer Turner was discharged. I feel bad for the kids and their families. We couldn't image putting a 6-year-old in a police car. Being caught with a child is horrible enough. But it's nothing compared to what Officer Rodriguez did to an unarmed individual. Matthew Rodriguez Joaquin Smith started poorly. After being arrested for carjacking and having weapons, the 19-year-old was in the Warren Police Department jail, but things got worse. Smith and Officer Matthew Rodriguez waited in the fingerprint room. They appeared to converse while Rodriguez thrashed the teen suddenly. Rodriguez hit the adolescent in the back of the head and slammed it into the ground despite 2 police officers arriving. Rodriguez grabbed Smith by the hair and shoved him headlong into a holding cell, slamming the door. Smith got multiple bruises from the assault, but none were broken. He had broken bones, contusions, and head damage after being slammed into the pavement and hit in the face. Not the first time the Warren police officer was accused of excessive force, but it would be the last. Mr. Rodriguez, who took an oath of office, will be prosecuted like everyone else. Anyone else would be charged, but this harms all police officers and 2 hardworking ones. Rodriguez was dismissed and charged with misdemeanor assault and denial of rights. Smith sued the police for $50 million. Police officers sometimes do stupid things when agitated, but what happens when they intentionally get somebody in problem number 4? Chris and Courtney Brown in April 2018. These police officers employed a coin toss app for an unexpected purpose. Sarah Webb was pulled up by Roswell police for speeding to work. Courtney Brown and her partner, Christy Wilson Webb, apologized and stated she was late for work. They apologized for being late for work, but the officer ignored them. So you may exceed 80 miles per hour on 92. No, ma'am. Your license and insurance are with you. Turn off the car and give me the keys. Musically perform Please Wait for Webb's license. She said she was late for work, so I drove 90 miles per hour to catch her. My speed detectors are off, but Brown and Wilson couldn't determine what to do. Why did these police officers choose a coin toss as the only escape? Yes, you heard correctly. Wilson opened a coin flip app on Brown's phone. They then spoke in code. Adar, who? After hearing the digital change, the two police officers laughed. Wilson identified Tails to Brown. Wilson didn't want to release Webb, even though they've done this before. Instead, she mentioned 23, confirming it. Brown said another code term for seize Michael Jordan. They chuckled as they listed Webb's charges, so I arrested him. Please note my FAS, irresponsible driving and speeding. Just mark the speeding one, not the careless one. The speed limit here is 45 miles per hour, so I'm not sure what that signifies. Webb expected a ticket and was surprised to be handcuffed since maneuver driving. Way too fast for conditions. Please put that stuff in front of my automobile, ma'am. Not believing what was happening, she cried all the way to the station. You kidding me? You kidding me? I must work. Can I pay a ticket? She inquired. She had no notion a coin had chosen her fate. Some people viewed the footage months later and told Webb. Realized they were mocking her, which was cruel. I was furious and offended that these individuals were supposed to protect me but played games. Both cops were fired. Webb was not prosecuted. Body cams always catch cops saying and doing foolish things, like Officer Bogart stating the most. 5 stunning facts. Columbus police confronted Timothy Davis inside a convenience store in September 2017 over multiple arrest warrants. When Davis disobeyed, officers thrashed him until his pants fell off. Place hand behind back. 6 officers placed Davis face down, but they kept hitting and tasering him until he was unconscious. Davis was arrested and handcuffed. He had to be pulled away and lifted into the station police van due to his weakness. Inside, he was charged and booked. Davis could walk, but had a broken face when he got to court. Davis had renal failure and damaged ribs. The community was appalled by a viral cell phone video of the incident. I'm fighting for us all, stated the speaker. That video was terrible, so you should be ashamed. You have 7 days to teach Columbus this video. Investigating takes time, and we don't have all the information we need, so 7 days is a long time. Not only was excessive force used, but one officer uttered terrible things. On his body camera, Officer Joseph Bogart asks, "Why tase him? Why not suffocate him?" They probably did that for a time good can't. That wasn't his worst nighttime statement. Davis gasped for air and called for aid as paramedics examined him. Bogart laughed and uttered more surprising things. Maybe you should hear him out. He arrived after the arrest, not during the takedown. His big mouth got him in trouble. Officer Bogart was dismissed of duty and his badge and pistol were confiscated until we determined if those comments reflect his street behavior. Davis sued the agency for excessive force and settled with $225,000 payout. Watch an officer caught by his own camera number 6 if you think it's rare. Marco Burke. ACT body cams are designed to detect criminals, but sometimes courts wear badges. Middle Tennessee State University police officer Marco Burke experienced it after midnight on May 10, 2018. Burke was told to attend an automobile accident involving a careless driver. Burke found an abandoned automobile. After immediately checking it out, Burke returned to his car and claimed it was empty and normal. The end. However, he was apprehended and charged with 5 theft offenses before his shift ended. Photographers caught Burke in a compromised situation with the bait car.